With Regulation H officially here, legendaries are gone, meaning Urshifu is gone, thank God, so we can officially start playing the game. Now, as it is with every regulation, we forget about a couple months, and they start to become underrated. So today, before we forget about those guys, I'm gonna tell you who the best hidden gems are in Regulation H.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy GTheDon, and I'm back with another YouTube video. And since I'm back with another YouTube video, this means it's another day for me to preach about everyone's favorite Pokemon, Tyranitar. And yes, Tyranitar is of course going to be on those lists, as he's my favorite, but he's also very underrated right now. Now, I know when you're looking at Tyranitar, you're thinking, damn, he's pretty weak to a fighting type. That's true, he is. This mon is going to have to be your Terra Hog 100%, and you're going to have to build your team around this thing. But I think there's a reason you should. Sandstream is a perfect ability for this mon. I mean, who doesn't want to set up sand? I love it, you may not love it, but I think it's the best weather setting, and I think you're going to be able to change weather in this format so much, as literally Pelipper is one of the most commonly used mons already in Reg H, and it's been out for like a week. Not only does this change the weather that Pelipper can set up, this mon can also absolutely eviscerate it with a single rock slide. Because I mean, look at its attack stat. Now, I don't know why that says 0, because usually when you're using a Tyranitar, you're primarily using its attack, and yeah, 186 max is kind of crazy, and that's without it being an adamant. I bet it touches 200. Yeah, Pelipper is instant going down to a rock slide. Let it switch on the wrong turn or be caught lacking, it's done. And especially another great thing about this Tyranitar is if you're attacking it on the special end, good luck knocking it out in 1 to 2 hits, because this thing has bulk. With the Assault Vest, it's already getting a 0.5% boost, and when sand is up, you're getting another 0.5% boost to your special defense. So when you max out something like your Tyranitar special defense, and then you put it in sand and give it this Assault Vest, its special defense stat is sitting at over 300, and when it's coming with a base 100 HP, this thing is a tank. If you were to put something around like an instant on, now if you were to put an instant on a team with the Tyranitar, your Tyranitar just got a whole hell of a lot bulkier. And when you're in a slow format like this where everything's not hitting hard since all the legendaries are gone, I think you're going to want some bulk. Now, as I said, T-Tar's going to be one hell of a Terra Hog, but what's wrong with being a Terra Hog when you're going to be Terra Grass? Honestly, Terra Grass I think is going to be one of the best, as Palafin is going to be very annoying, and electric moves, few and far to come between, but when it's coming from a boosted Archaludon, you're going to want to be a typing that can take that shot pretty well. Now, if you're going to use T-Tar, you got to use his best friend, Excadrill. I'm not going to lie, I might be a little Sam team biased here, but hey, Excadrill's not that bad. Now, one thing you are going to be worried about is his typing, ground and steel. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty bad. Instant does normally scare this mon, but when you're running a Killer Amulet and you can protect around it, it's not too bad. Especially since you can almost one-shot an Instant yourself. Because I mean, look at that crazy attack you got. 135 base, you know you're going to be running an adamant on this mon. You know you're going to be laying the hammer on anybody. Again, I don't know why it's minimized, probably because I have no moves on it. But 205 base damage is insane. You're not going to be getting any buffs unless you want to run a Sword Dance variant, which I do not recommend. I'm going to show you how to run a sand team for real, as I will be making a video with a couple of these mons on this list. It's going to be a beautiful sand team, and trust me, it's going to be amazing. But when I'm there, I'll show you how it's done. But as for now, Excadrill, I believe it's a great mon. Now, Terra types, I don't know. You could go Terra Ghost if you want, just to be able to dodge fake outs, because again, when you're in sand and on a sand team with this great ability Sand Rush that doubles your speed, you are going to be the fastest thing on the field majority of the time, and your opponent's going to have to set up a Tailwind if they want to deal with you. Now, Excadrill's base speed, not the best, but it already starts at 108, and 107 is really the speed to hit if you're going to set up Tailwind, and your sand is basically a boosted Tailwind, because at 107 under Tailwind, you're going to be able to outspeed Dragapult, who's going to be the fastest mon in this format, and its base speed is 213. So sitting at 108 is great right now. With no speed investment, you can outspeed under sand, which is pretty nice, but if you really want to go super fast, max that out. Understand you'll be moving at 280 speed. You can be moving light years ahead of any of your opponents without Tailwind. And yeah, if you can set up a Tailwind on your own, you're always going to be the fastest thing on the field. And with moves like Iron Head and Rock Slide, 30% chance of flinching, you got a 30% chance your opponent's not going to be able to play the game. And what's better than not letting your opponent play the game in a game like Pokemon, where every move matters? And with a mon that's not going to be letting your opponents be able to move, really, I think it's a gem that's being slept on so hard. Yes, I know its typing is abysmal. Hopefully, I mean, T-Tar's going to take up your Terra Hog slot, I'm not going to lie, but if you need to Terra this thing, pray to God, or just invest in some bulk. And speaking of a bulked out mon, we're talking about a mon that has absolutely zero bulk. I mean, it has some bulk, but nothing too crazy in Rotom Wash. Now, it's not just Rotom Wash. Personally, I think all the Rotoms are going to be amazing in this format. Heat, Frost, Mow. Alright, honestly, I'm lying to you. It's just going to be Heat and Wash. As both of these guys are going to need something like a Citrus Berry. Let me show you Heat. Let's give them a Citrus Berry. Get your bulk up if you ever get lower than half. Levitate, great ability. Again, I know Terra typing is not the best, but if you Terra, you can make it out the mud. Maybe. Terra Electric, you will be weak to absolutely nothing, as Ground type would be the only thing that can hurt you. And guess what? You're levitating. So the only way you're going to be hurt by something is something that has Mold Breaker, which is probably an Excadrill, but if you're not running Sand Rush on Excadrill, you're selling. Now, the reason Rotom is going to be great in this format, oh my god, we can finally protect again. Yes, Palafin is the only water type that will be hurting us, and thankfully, it can't hit to protect like Urshifu. But you can Will-O-Wisp on almost, I think on every Rotom. Rotom Wash is mine of choice, as I'd rather deal with a washer than deal with an oven. I don't know, that's just me. And he looks cooler. Blue's a better color than red. That's up for debates and comments if you think red's cooler, but whatever. Only problem, and then these mons, again, there's no electric types in this format at all besides our GTheDon. So Thunderbolt hits pretty nice for any mon on a team. Now, the main problem with these Rotom Washes, why I think they're being a little slept on, I still think they're gems personally, even with this, their moves are inaccurate. Now, if you want to use Rotom Heat, your best fire type move is going to be Overheat. It's going to one-shot things like a Rillaboom. They're going to be one of the most dominant things in the format. But yeah, Overheat, 90%, you know, but in Pokemon, my rule is if it ain't 100%, it's hitting on 50%. And the amount of play roughs I've missed with the Zacian is insane. You can go watch almost any video I've used Zacian in, which is probably at least 5. And I brick at least 1 out of every 3. It is insane. 90%, my ass. But not only is 90% bad, when you're using Rotom Wash like I want to, you got to use Hydro Pump. And you can't see it here, but Hydro Pump is an 80% accurate move. It gets even worse. Yeah, Rotom Wash is nice. There's a reason it's slept on, but I think it's going to be a nice gem that's going to be popping around soon. So be on the lookout for him. Now, as I said with T-Tar, I think weather setting is going to be very important in this in this format. So why not use another mon that can set up weather in the Alolan Ninetales? Now, it's going to be setting up snow. And if you didn't know, snow has changed from what it used to be. It's no longer doing chip damage like sand. It's giving you a defensive stat. But when you're under snow with Alolan Ninetales, you can get very bulky very fast because you have a great move called Aurora Veil. Sets up screens for your teammates, basically a reflect and a light screen in one. It's pretty nasty. Now, you might be looking at this mon's stats and be like, damn, it's defensively horrible though. Well, again, not only are you going to get those screen buffs, and Urshifu's not being here to just critically hit and ignore your buffs, you will get a boosted defense in Snow. Snow is kind of nice. It's the opposite of Sand now. Gives you a defensive buff. But another great thing about this mon is it's fairy typing. If you don't know, or you haven't even touched Regulation H Ladder, it is full of dragons because there's not many fairy types to stop them. And again, not many ice types to stop them. So Alolan Ninetales is sitting in a great spot because it is ice and fairy, has both the stabs. But Moonblast coming off of you, I mean, it's not going to hurt too much, but into most dragons, it's going to do enough. You also have moves like Blizzard. You have Icy Wind. Ice types, you're just going to OHKO, especially with Blizzard being 110 power in Snow. Your opponent can say goodbye to their dragon. Alolan Ninetales is going to be very great. If you can get it in and set up the weather and set up the screens, your team's going to be very bulky. And in a game where it's slow, if you can make your opponent hit even less hard, it's going to be pretty good on your side. And speaking of Snowmons, why would I not add the best Snowmon to a team and to Excalibur? And yes, Snow has a horrible typing defensively, especially to fire, but for Excalibur, that doesn't matter with your great ability Thermal Exchange. Fire types boost you up. So let their Incineroar run right into you, you don't care. You run a Clear Amulet on this thing, again, you don't care about their Intimidate. And guess what else you do great into? A Rillaboom, you're an ice type. So 2 of the probably most 3 popular mons, straight up bricked. Next most popular mon in this game, not even next possible most popular mon, is going to be Palafin or our Charladon. Palafin you're great into, our Charladon you're kind of mid into, but hey, you're going to be able to cook up, to be honest. You can hit very hard with a Glaive Rush. Again, Ice Shards or Icicle Crashes can deal with any grass type. Earthquake is gonna help you deal with Incineroar because look at your attack stat, it's insane. And especially if it can't get dropped, why would you be scared of an Incin? You won't. Excalibur is gonna be a great Mon. You're also able to do great damage into other dragons. So I mean, why not be the best dragon there is? And before I move on to my last hidden gem, I want y'all to let me know who you think I'm missing out on this list, because I care to hear what you think about, as you obviously care enough to hear what I think about as you made it to this point in the video. Now the next most underrated Mon is me. I may not be a Pokemon, but I'm a Pokemon YouTuber. So check out one of the videos on the screen as YouTube thinks you'll like it, and you can see me possibly use one of those underrated Mons.